Would it be all Rezin 47 back once again? And I'm here with another album review. This is actually my second only review of the year for a new release. The other one was Benny the Butcher Tan Talk 4. And now I'm here to talk about one of my most highly anticipated albums of the year. Ever since this guy got signed to this label. And I'm talking about one of my favorite rappers in the game right now, Rome Streetz, dropping his debut album on one of my favorite record labels of all time, Griselda Records. And this album is called Kiss the Ring. Now everybody and their fam have been reviewing this album ever since it dropped. It's been a week and a half and YouTube is just flooded with Kiss the Ring reviews. Some really love it and they're still bumping it today, I know I am. But some of them are only talking about it to get views and then they just fucking recycle it the next day. But, I'll waste no time. I'll talk about how I actually got into Rome Streetz first. It was December 2019. It was my senior year of high school. Saw the homie Mike from Speedy Clout, who I've always shouted out. I saw him talking about Rome Streetz a lot towards the end of this year, so I looked up Rome Streetz, and I saw that he had an album with Future Wave, because I was already a fan of Future Wave from his music with Danielson, the Head Crack and Yellow Douchey albums. So the album, well actually the Pressure Cooker, the album he has with Rome Streetz is called Head Crack. So I looked that up, and on first listen I was pretty impressed. And then 2020 comes around and he drops Noise Candy 4, which is his mixtape series. I love that too, it helped me get through the year. Like, especially with that song Toxic, I can definitely relate to that shit. And then the next year, 2021, he just completely takes over the underground. He dropped four fucking full-length albums that year. Death of the Magician with DJ Muggs. Genesis 127 with Uncle John. Razor's Edge with Future Wave. And then Coup de Grace with Ransom. All those albums, minus Genesis, actually made it to my top 10 albums of 2021. And of course, that year, he got signed to Griselda Records around August. And then, he was all over the Westside Taylor Wears Rome's 8 mixtape. 2021 was just the year of the streets. I have never seen a single year run like that in eons. The dude was just all in one. Now this year, he's been staying silent because he was focusing on this album. Westside Gunn announced the title in June or July. And I just started patiently waiting for that release date. But once that release date and that album cover was announced, I became impatient. Like the last 3 days leading up to it, I just started fucking going through withdrawal trying to just wait for this album. I was checking for a track list every fucking 30 minutes, like on the day before. It's funny because I was starting to think that the album got pushed back because it wasn't no track list or anything until 3 fucking hours before it released. So that was kind of funny. But yeah, Rome Streetz, like I said, one of my favorite MCs in the game right now. So let's get down and break down this record, tracks 1 through 17. So track 1, Big Steppa, produced by Camouflage Monk. Very dope sign-in to the album. Camouflage Monk brings it with a dusty, mysterious beat. Bass sounds really good too. Rome just starts going in immediately. Got rappers hating and they bitches naked in my messages. I smoke your old top 20 fuck 5 that's definite. Choke the rap game out till ain't no life left in it. Fire. Rome's bringing in the punchlines immediately. That's something I love about lyricism. That he is super good at wordplay and punchlines. I am very keen on that shit. And he's got it in droves. And he's got the best rap courses out right now. Like on this one. Chrome hearts on my sweater. My work better. You could never fuck with me ever. I've been a big stepper. Another thing too. That voice and his cadence he carries with it is so ear-catching. Rome Streetz when you hear him because he has a very distinct voice. So a big stepper. Nice start to the album. Great lyricism. Great beat. Moving up to track 2 now. Hard on Froze. Produced by Conductor Williams. Okay, first off. Conductor basically produced half of this album because I believe him, Daniel LaFleur, and Camouflage Monk, they all got signed as producers to Griselda Records. They're actually a supergroup called the Heartbreakers. Westside has been pushing Conductor like drugs. ever since he signed him. So he's did half the production on this album, and I'll get into my likes and dislikes about that. But this beat's pretty cool, but Rome's bars definitely ran it this time. Slice the goat throat like the voodoo ritual. Sacrifice, you'll still be a bum in your afterlife. Violent and evil. He's also got another rhyme later on that I also love. I'm going global. They love my shit like a Bon Jovi vocal. This dope on Pro Tools. That was dope. Now let me get into the downside of Conductor's production on this album. I fucking hate that new ident he has on this album. Like, at the end of the song, it just plays over and over, and I can't hear what Rome's saying. You know, Conductor, we have a problem. Conductor, we have a problem. Like it doesn't completely fuck up the album for me, but it is very patience testing at times. But this is still a dope track. I just rather have Conductor just use his original ident that he uses at the start of his beats. But yeah, Hard on Froze, still a good song. Track 3 now, In Too Deep, also produced by Conductor Williams. This track starts out with that OG Conductor tag I was just mentioning. It's one of my favorite beats from him on the album. It makes me think of just driving through like snowy winter streets, like in Buffalo. Rome just brings it, street knowledge to this track, rapping about paying dues and having ambitions. Like where he says, are you the player scoring buckets on the team or just an onlooker? These fools are honored they queens, they want a hooker. Two different facts right there. You know, people are naturally attracted to those pretty on the outside, but being pretty on the inside is what matters most. So I like how he dropped that little gem right there. And next up is track 4, Soulja Boy, also produced by Conductor Williams, featuring Conway the Machine. This track starts out with like this slowed down sample of Children's Story. It's like really fucking random, but I like it. Another dope beat. I like that glissando piano sample he uses. Rome's got a couple different one-liners in here that I love, like when he says, my name ring from east to west like a line of longitude. Another one was where he says, living rapid, mommy told me slow down like chopped and screwed. Can you see where I'm getting with this dude and his punchlines? One of the nastiest out right now. Conway brought it too. His verse, I don't know who has my favorite verse in this. They're both neck for neck. But he says, my future just like my vision, it's bright. I know it gotta suck, you ends live a miserable life. I ain't friendly with these rap ends, I ain't Mr. Polite. I ain't gonna give you advice, I'ma watch your soul leave your body when I dig in my knife. I love when Conway goes like to that dark, morbid territory. He's really been doing that a lot since like From King to a God. That's my favorite part of him, just when he goes to that real, just evil shit. I also get a kick out of that Soulja Boy sample at the end where he's like, I just told you who I thought I was, a god. Yeah, that dude's fucking crazy. But next up, one of my favorites on the album, and I'm seeing, from what I've gathered, this is like the fan favorite on the album. Track 5, Tyson Beckford, produced by Derringer. Also one of my favorite highlights on the album. It's Derringer only beat on the album, but that really ain't a complaint because he's paid his dues, like, produced nearly every Griselda album from like 2015 to 2019, so I can see why he'd take a step back. But textbook Derringer beat, suspenseful strings, like muffled drums. I would say he's in my top 3 producers of all time. Yeah, and I don't give a fuck. I think he's got the catalog to earn that rank. But Rome Streetz, he brings it with the verbs, of course. You know, had a spark when you started, but now you just garbage. I love how he said that. It felt like he was calling out a real person. And most of his second verse uses that delivery and rhyme scheme, so that was really dope. And again, Tyson Beck's a standout. Alright, now moving up to track 6, Destiny Child, produced by Denny LaFleur. Another dope track, man. Denny LaFleur is my top 5 producers right now. Thank you, Wes, for introducing me to him on Fly God's an Awesome God. You know, I like how Rome says at the end of his first verse, everything I ever wrote was crack smoke. He actually had said that before on, like, Fortune Favors the Bold from the Head Crack Future Wave album, so I kind of thought it was like a callback in a way. But this has got another dope rap chorus to this song as well. Destiny Child, this one's a winner. Next up, one of my other favorite tracks on the album, track 7, Blow for Blow, featuring Stove God Cooks and Benny the Butcher, produced by Conductor Williams. This is basically drug rap 101 right here. The Griselda posse cut. Still got another one of my favorite rappers out right now, and by this time I would say Benny the Butcher's an all-time favorite of mine. Rome signs on with the first verse and he does his thing. I know seeing my style's making you ends miserable. Keep watching my moves, you gonna be suicidal. I just love that arrogant shit he brings with it. Stove God has a second verse, he brought it too. I love when he talks about his plug getting killed with like 100 bricks on him. He's like, man, why can't I get killed after the drop off? That's one thing I've always loved about Stove God Cooks. Like, he's got the personality, he's got the cadence, he's got the lyricism, but he's also got the humor, which is something that is desperately missing in hip-hop nowadays. So, I love that. And I love that shit he does on like 203 where he's like, ooh, the Fed's coming. Turn the phones off, the Fed's coming. Like, Stove God is also really good at getting melodic as well, like I said, with the cadence and personality. I hope that Stove Jesus album is up next after this, man. That's gonna be his Griselda debut. Also curated by Westside Gunn, just like Kiss the Ring is. But I would say my favorite verse has to go to The Butcher. He probably has like his Town Talk 4 flow to this track. Compressors make packs shrink like a witch doctor. Fuck. That'll go over people's head. He ain't talking about like bubonic plague witch doctors. He's talking about like that toy from the 60s where you like make a Frankenstein mask and it will shrink over time. That was fucking dope. Very dope song. Blow for Blow. Track 8 up now. Ugly Balenciagas, produced by Conductor Williams. More drug dealing stories from Streetz. Like I said, Rome's one of the best at the drug raps right now. Yeah, he goes into deep detail with it on this track. Real shit, I had to build a scam just to get the dough. Play with the bread, I flame your head like Bam Bam Bigelow. Like I was saying, man, like the punchlines he has are just out of here. Solid song. Ugly Balenciagas. I think it's one of the shorter tracks on the album, too. And next up at track 9, 1000 Ecstasy, produced by Conductor Williams again. Probably my favorite Conductor beat on the album. Very dope piano sample, and this track actually does have drums. This beat just has like a 7 p.m. fall evening feeling to it. Like, plays at 7 p.m. like tonight. You know, you get that fucking feeling. One of my favorites on this Kiss the Ring shit. Where my gun fire and it's black like a car tire, all of my bars barbed wire. Simple but effective wordplay again, and the chorus goes hard. I fucking love it. Real right, fly horse sellers and Margellas, rollers are, I swear to God, nothing you can tell us. No, the rhymes give an emphasis on that shit. It just makes me fucking love that. It's gotta be my favorite chorus on this whole album. Yeah, 1000 Ecstasy, definitely a winner. Next up, we got track 10, Armed and Dangerous, featuring Armani Caesar, produced by DJ Green Lantern. What did Q-Tip say on like Rap Promoter? It's a fly love song. That's another thing Rome Streetz is nice with, making fly love songs that aren't gay or corny. This is a track for just any down-ass bitch in your life, you know. It's clear like HDMI, pictures on widescreen, to your safe we got the drop like Rezin. Rome's still keeping it grimy like I've just mentioned. And for those that don't know, his girl is an MC as well. Her name's China Streetz. She's nice with it as well. I could tell that Rome taught her how to rap. I would love to get like a Rome China collab album one day. That'd be fire. But this one's got Armani Caesar on it, like I just said. And she's got a nice gem in her verse where she says, it's not your money, it's the energy that you give off. That's how shit should be. Just plain and simple. Armani's a dope MC too. She's got that confident bad bitch personality to her. This track is host to another catchy chorus, you know. Love is just a 4-letter word like fuck. But what the fuck is love with no trust? Love that. And another thing, I love the hidden beat at 304. With that, like that vocal sample. Love it. I wish Rome rapped over that. That was fire. But next up, track 11, Cry Champagne, produced by Camouflage Monk. Another highlight on the album for me. Basically, Rome's Rags to Riches track. It's a braggadocio song, but it's also got a feel-good vibe to it. Camo Monk's beat matches that perfectly with like that distorted harp sample. I fucking love when Streetz said this. Too many ends sounding the same, doing the same shit, acting like they're doing something different with the same script. They in the way, clogging the lane, they lack the range. Fucking dead facts. Leave it to Rome to say that. I mean, since Griselda's blown up, the underground's become overpopulated with like a raid of just second-rate West Side Gun, second rate Bennies, second rate Derringers. Fuck, just fucking worthless trash heaps, man. Cry Champagne is dope, and Rome is saying some real shit on that song. Next up, track 12, Non-Factor. Also produced by Camouflage Monk featuring West Side Gun. Personally, I think this track carries that same vibe as Cry Champagne, lyrically and musically. Camo Monk brings one of the darker beats to the album on this song. Rome Streetz does this thing on this track. Murder in music, every time you hear Streets, I'm godly. Going stupid hard to this Ferrari on the car key. Westside does this thing too. I like how he comes in with that, hey yo, hold up the tech, fold up, M16 out the Rose truck. Great charisma. No, just another dope track on the album. This has also got a music video as well. It dropped the same day the album came out. It's just Roman Arrest rapping around New York at night. So, yeah, go check that out. I'll have that in the description after this review. Okay, now up. One of the best songs of the album right here. Track 13. Long Story Short, produced by The Alchemist. You gotta have Alchemist on your Griselda debut album. I mean, it's only right. Definitely the darkest track on the album, both in lyrics and production. Al just fucking brought it here. That beat has got like a dreary winter feeling to it. Again, like In Too Deep. This makes you feel like you're driving through these snowy streets in Buffalo. The drums and the piano sample go hard. Rome tells a story about an aspiring basketball player named Busy that fucked his knee up and had to retire. And he became addicted to Oxycontin to kill the pain. He ended up dying by eating a fake pill. And like I said, one of the best songs on the album. The storytelling is just very vivid. That's an aspect of Rome Streetz that I think gets overlooked. He's a great storyteller, you know. Go back and listen to Wheel of Fortune on Death of the Magician. Another great story. But what did he say? Karma's a bitch, her kiss a blessing or it's venomous. You know, just a simple fact right there again. Be careful how you live your life because it all comes full circle. And then next up, oh man, my god. Yeah, I fucking love this song. Track 14, Serving. Produced by Denny LaFleur featuring Boldy James. One of my favorite fucking songs of the year. Denny LaFleur again proving why he's one of my favorite producers right now. That key sample, so hypnotic. Rome switches up his flow to like a triplet delivery, and it follows the beat perfectly. Like when he ends his verse with that, did the money dance and the junkiest hands drop 20 Zans, I've been serving shit, motherfucker. And also like when he said, watch what you post on the internet, Jake follow you with a fake IG. Obey Benny's 13th crack commandment, no social media posting. Boldy, he held his own with Rome. I'm starting to like Boldy the more I hear him on tracks like this. Like, I don't know, when he gets on like that hypnotic, chill production, he's perfect. What do you say? Joke we failed through a stolen car radio, a flat screen, and a 12-speed. Just on the same drug shit Rome is on. So much fire on this fucking track. I love Serving. Yeah, easily a highlight for me. And then we're coming towards the end of the album now. Track 15, Reversible, produced by Conductor Williams. One of the best tracks on the album verbally. Streetz is razor sharp on this shit. I heard before she was a whore, so I hit it like Babe Ruth or Mark McGuire. Retard on my bars is fire. Conductor's beat is dusty as dusty can get. And then at 136, he drops a beat switch. And honestly, I like that beat better than the first one. And again, like I said earlier, that Conductor We Have a Problem repeat is just, doesn't make the album unlistenable, but it is very patience testing, especially here, because it loops like 11 times. I counted it. Anyway, Rome is just as sharp on the second beat. Clap the sheep after I sent shots where the shepherd is. That's like a tongue twister right there. That's something, another thing Rome is good at, tongue twisters. Something that's also kind of missing in rap nowadays. To do it, I mean, Rome Streetz just checks all the boxes as an MC. Yeah, I love that. I still like the track despite the tags. And next up, the penultimate track, track 16, Fashion Rebel, produced by Sadhu Gold and Sovereign. I think that's how you say it. Being 1000, I'm not too crazy about this track. It's not a bad song, it just doesn't connect with me compared to the rest of the album. Rome still brought it lyrically. I've been wrecking shit, even the deaf trying to hear my sounds. Yeah, this track's also got one of the best choruses to the album. I'm a fashion rebel, blast and I stash the metal, keep it on me cause every level got new devils. Like I said, Streetz got the best rap choruses right now. And then we go to the sign-off track. Track 17, the title track, Kiss the Ring, produced by Denny LaFleur. Very dope sign-off to the album. Denny's beat is trippy as fuck here. Just that chopped sax sample is just fucking crazy. Gives me like Fly God is an Awesome God vibes, which that's where I first heard him, like I said. But Rome finishes strong with some more sharp punchlines. Fuck the game up like pulling the cord out the TV back like Thanos, everybody die when you see me snap. Very fucking dope way to shut down the album. And of course, it's gotta sign off with that classic Griselda by Fashion Rebel ident. So, that is Rome Streetz' Kiss the Ring, his Griselda debut album of 2022. In a nutshell, prior to this, my favorite Rome Streetz album was Razor's Edge. But this might have topped it. Like, I don't know, they're still kind of even right now because it was only out for a week and a half. But I think this is gonna eclipse Razor's Edge. This might be my new favorite Rome Streetz album. It's just very well put together. It's perfectly sequenced, not too long but not too short. 17 tracks, 50 minutes even. No intros, skits, or any bullshit like that. Production is tight. I'm all about beats with drums, but drumless beats can be dope if they're done right, and they are definitely done right on this album. Rome's sharper than ever verbally, of course, man. Like, his rhyme scheme, punchlines, wordplay, choruses, personality, tongue twisters, too. It's all at 100% on Kiss the Ring. He put his best foot forward on this for sure. He wanted to make a name for himself. You could tell he took this shit very seriously. The features, too, they're kept to a minimum, which I'm happy about, because a lot of rappers nowadays, they have to have their features hold their hand to carry them through their own record. Rome is built different. He has always been able to carry his own albums, and he's always been smart with feature placements. He places them where they're necessary and where they fit. But, yeah, Kiss the Ring, what a fucking album this is. I really hope we get CDs for this album, and not just like in a digipack like Griselda always does. I want like a jewel case with a booklet and maybe a tray art. So, Rome Streetz' Kiss the Ring, what would I give this rating? Give it a 7.5 out of 10. I'm switching up my score rating. 7.5 out of 10. And I'll actually give my top 4 favorite tracks. Alright, so 4 to 1. We're going to go 1000 Ecstasy, Cry Champagne, Tyson Beckford, and then my number 1 is Serving. Least favorite track on the album, Fashion Rebel. But, yeah, hold on a second. Yeah, a special announcement for y'all real quick before I sign off. I gotta explain something like why I haven't done many hip-hop reviews this year. This goes back to what I was saying about Cry Champagne. Like, the underground's become so overpopulated with just mediocre bullshit rappers that I've had to cut back on how many rappers I follow. So for me personally, 2022 has been a pretty dry year for new hip-hop. I know, like, in the grand scheme of things, it's gotta be a great year, but this is just my personal perspective. I'm not like a stuck in the 90s head, otherwise this review wouldn't even exist. But I just don't have time to listen to every new rap album because like a lot of shit now is just microwave music. 8-track, 20-minute EPs get passed off as full-length albums nowadays. As rappers, their shit has no drums. Their flows are all over the place. They can't stay on beat. And then they partner with some overseas vinyl cassette company and press up 25 quote limited copies of that bullshit just to brag about on social media. And then those products won't even get shipped out for 6 fucking months, and by that shit, no one's bumping that album anymore. These dumbass rappers are not making music to get streams. You're only making albums that You're only making albums to get streams. You're not making albums that people will bump 10 years later. And you're definitely not making songs that people will go crazy for at shows. A lot of these motherfuckers they're in this rap shit for the money. But rappers should be in it just for the love of music and the love for hip-hop. But yeah, I just had to vent that shit really quick because I'm tired of these rapidy rap clones getting a pass. Like what he said on Reversible, these rapidy rap ends never come across as wavy. So, Rome Streetz' Kiss the Ring review 2022. Thanks for listening. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this. I'll have more content coming throughout the month. I got a big double episode planned for Monday the 17th, so keep an eye out for that. And until then, Rezin 47's over and out.